Well, good morning. Thank you for joining me. My name is John Rawls. This is the Christian Media Marketing Show, and I am in Orlando, Florida. I'm in the headquarters of Pioneers, a mission organization, one of the partners that Kavanaugh Media works with, and I'm on vacation. So you might be thinking, well, why are you working? Well, because it's important to me to keep this show going. Our podcast that we have that comes out every week, we're in the 90s for those episodes. And so it matters to me that I can provide this training for you. Now, this show is meant for churches or small mission teams who maybe you don't have a lot of resources. Maybe you're just getting started. Then that's why we're trying to put this show together, is to train and to help people be able to just know how to get started and how to leverage social media marketing for Jesus, for the good news, and for the gospel. So we're down here in Orlando, Florida. My wife and daughter, it's her birthday this week, and so I'm thankful to Pioneers for giving me the bandwidth, the internet, to be able to do this show, and this really great room that I'm in here, as well as I'm thankful for GMPI, who helps me put this show on. Good News Productions International out of Joplin, Missouri, and they are close friends of mine. I appreciate all of them there, and I'm thankful for this opportunity each week to spend some time with you. Now, I know I get a lot of messages from people outside of the live show. Part of that is due to just when the show is happening, but secondly, also for security considerations. A lot of times people don't want to put their names, or maybe they just can't watch the show. We put this show, as well as a lot of other training, on our website at KavanaughMedia.com. KavanaughMedia.com. Now, in today's show, I'm going to answer some questions here at the beginning. Understand this, that my answers to this many times are just my opinion. Okay, so I reserve the right to be wrong. None of us hold to a wrong view, but if I get new information or if I find out that what I'm saying isn't right, obviously I'm going to change it. But I want to share with you what I'm seeing from doing what we do as a business and try to give some answers to that, okay? And then we're going to jump into Google Ads, and we're going to look at how to begin with Google Ads. I don't know if you've ever used those or not before, but they're really, really cool. It's an exciting area. It's an exciting channel to be able to do this. Now, currently, as a business as mission, which means we're not on direct support, we charge for the services that we do, and we partner with mission teams and organizations and stuff to be able to do this. We're working with, the other day we added it all up, there's 17 different mission organizations that we either have or are currently getting to work with some of their people. And we're working in over 70 countries, and I have an announcement that's going to be coming out in maybe a week or two that I think is going to dramatically increase those numbers. I can't wait to tell you about them. I'm not meaning to be a tease. I just have to wait for the ink to dry. But put it this way, there's going to be some really, we think, some really generous, beneficial help when it comes to the ad spend, how much you spend on your ads. All right, so that's all I can say for right now. Let's get into the questions that we want to look at today. If you have any questions as we're going along, put a comment. Give me a thumbs up. I see Alan's already done that. Alan Kirkpatrick, thank you. You put me 2 hands up there. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. If there's any of the rest of you that are watching live, if you have questions, if you put those in the comments or reactions, I should see those if the software is working right, and I'll try to answer those as well. All right, let's jump into the questions. That's the way this show is going to work. Every week we answer a few questions at the beginning, then we have a segment, about 10 minutes or so, of focused training. All right, so some of the questions that I want to look at, here's the first one. Which one is better for a church just getting started? Is it Facebook or Google Ads? All right, that's a great question. And really this is not a one is better than the other, but let's look at it from the perspective of a church and what each one of these two channels provide. Each one of them have their own benefits. There are certain things that Facebook does well. There are certain things that Google does well. And when I say Google, I really, we can include YouTube in there as well, into that area. Number one search engine in the world, Google. Number two, YouTube. All right. So one of the differences here is, I think, okay, so once again, this is just opinion, but I have ran now tens of thousands of ads. And so from what I've learned so far, this is where I'm at. I think Facebook is better at building awareness. So really, let me put it this way. There's push and there's pull. Push is when you're pushing something out in front of others. They weren't looking for it. Okay, it's not something that they were looking for, but based upon their behavior on the channel, say Facebook, then what is pushed should be relevant to them. That's the whole issue of targeting and pixels and this battle between Facebook and Apple of trying to show relevant ads. For example, for me, I just bought two things off of Facebook. One is this little thing that clips on your belt that you can put your fly fishing rod in so it will hold your rod. Well, I just saw it on Facebook. I had no idea that thing existed, but because I spend a fair amount of time following Facebook groups about fly fishing, that ad was relevant and showed up to me. The other one was beautiful. It's a t-shirt. It's a St. Louis Cardinals, my favorite baseball team of all time. It's a Cardinals shirt, but the batter isn't holding a bat. He's holding a fly fishing rod, and the catcher behind him is holding a net. I'm like, this is beautiful. St. Louis Cardinals baseball, fly fishing, and I bought the t-shirt. So that's where Facebook, I'm not looking for them, I'm not searching for it, but it's pushing content out in front of me that is relevant. Google shows ads when I'm searching for things. This happens a ton when I'm trying to figure out how to do something. And so I'll literally type how to or whatever. So Facebook, I think, is better at awareness. Long term, Google may be better for the actual conversion, getting people to dive deeper into actually doing something. Now, when in marketing, when we say conversion, we're not talking about accepting Jesus, okay? That is the ultimate conversion, the one that's eternal, the one that matters. But when they do something like download a Bible or send a private message, Google tends to be a stronger intent when they come from a Google ad, because we know that they're searching. We know that they are searching at that point. All right, so, well, here we already have our first detractor. Go Cubs. Thank you, Greg. I know that you love the Cubs, and I love the fan base of the Cubs as well, even though I'm a Cardinals fan. And Greg's the one that made this bumper for the show, so I appreciate his talents there at GPI. All right, let's keep going, Greg. So, if I was just getting started, if people know about your church, then great. Jump right over to Google, and then you can start doing ads there. There's just differences between what we do. If you're just trying to build awareness, though, I would use a mixture of both always. So this is kind of a false question of which one is better. Both of them work well. The audience targeting on Facebook, to me, is more granular. It's more focused than what you can do. Google ads are more broad in their targeting, the demographics. You will get more exposure on Facebook, all right? And you can get more on there, and you can probably get clicks for a lower cost, all right? But it's an issue as well about the quality of those clicks. Okay, those are what's called a vanity metric. In one of these shows, I'm just going to show a video of just me talking about all the terms that people have, all right, that go into this. So that is the quality of those as well. All right, Luke, thank you for your comment there. I appreciate you, brother, very much. So when it comes down to a cost, from Facebook, you may get lower cost and more clicks, but you have to decide, is the quality better? All right, and so on Google, it may cost more per click, but they may be, because of their intent, because they're already searching, might be a better quality. Another comparison there is just the size of the audience. Facebook has close to a couple billion. Google has almost 3.5 billion searches that are done every day. Now, not all of those are going to be looking for a church or whatever, but it could be a lot of them. What's interesting is that as I dug into this question and tried to see what other marketers are saying, they're almost split as to which one of those that they like. 52% or so, around just a little over 50% said they like Facebook, and about almost that same amount on the Google side. I like both. And I like the push and the pull. So Facebook is pushing content, Google is pulling. One of the things, to wrap this part up here with this question, is that if you're trying to do this as a church, you can advertise really small. Whether it is Facebook and or Google, make sure you're showing up in local search, do local ads. So you don't have to advertise the whole country, just advertise, literally drop a pin on your church and draw a circle of 10 miles around it or whatever and run those ads in that way. And so your ad spend doesn't have to be huge. So which one is better for church just getting started? I would make sure that you're on Google in case somebody is searching. And then I would move into Facebook. That would be my order for me. And partly that's the way I tried to find a church when we moved to Tennessee, was to do Google searches for churches and then go from there. All right, so that's hopefully a help for you on that. All right, let's look at the next question here. Are there ways to do organic marketing on Facebook? What about when we use phrases such as, well, comment below? Comment below. All right. Yes, there are ways to do organic marketing on Facebook, but reach. So reach is how many people, unique individuals, are seeing your content. This happened several years ago, but reach on Facebook continues to get lower and lower and lower. The reason for that is that on your little cell phone, there's only so much space. And so there are more and more people who are advertising and who are putting content out there. And so space is becoming a premium. Facebook specifically, their focus is on the user, not you, not me, not the marketers, not the people paying money. We wish they were, because there's some things I wish they would change, but the focus is on the user and the user experience. They want them to have a good experience when they're on their platform, and they want to stay on there. That's the same thing with YouTube as well. And so the percentages, I've heard anywhere from 6 to maybe 10% of organic reach. Very, very small. This is why I don't care about how many people like your page, because those metrics just don't matter. And truth be told, there's not a lot of benefit to it. I was driving down here, we drove to Florida from Tennessee, and I was behind a truck and it had a big old sign saying, follow us on Facebook. And I'm thinking, why? What benefit? There was no call to action. There was no benefit to the person. I just saw it there, and obviously I didn't do it, okay? So even if I did, doesn't mean I'm going to see their content. So you'll hear this phrase that it's become pay to play. If you want to be in that realm of nearly 2 billion people, or whatever that size would be on Facebook for your audience that you're trying to reach, you may have to put some money behind what posts that you're doing. But organically, here's some things that you can do that should help you. Think quality over quantity. This isn't Twitter. You don't need to post 5, 6, 7 times a day. The shelf life is a little bit longer on Facebook than what it would be on Twitter. But quality does matter. All right, so when there's good quality and there's good engagement happening, people are liking or commenting or sharing it, Facebook's algorithms see that as a positive, and they'll show it to more people because they want people to have a good experience. And so they assume that that means that other people like it. That's that idea of social proof, okay? And so think quality over quantity. Make sure what you're sharing adds value to the person who would be looking at it. And as they engage, hopefully then it's going to get shared more. Now here's another thing. Don't use engagement bait. That's this idea of this phrase that's on here of comment below. There's different types of baiting. There's vote baiting. In fact, I hope that if you're watching this, you'll see this, because this is what media people do. This isn't the Republicans or the Democrats or Fox News or CNN. No, it's pretty much everybody on both sides are doing this stuff, and they're using your data to be able to do targeted stuff or to get their message out more. So this is where vote baiting comes in. Do you like this color or this color? Are they saying this word or this word? Is the dress this or is it that? Click heart if it's blue. Click thumbs up if it's yellow. But they're getting people to vote by that, and then that's driving engagement. The problem is the algorithms. Facebook knows these tricks. Right? When you like your own post, it doesn't help. Okay? Like, you can like it. I like my own stuff. I wouldn't put it out there. But when you are doing that, there's been tons of research. And I know people, I'll get kickback on this. People go, well, I did this and I saw that. Okay, great. I mean, it's not like it's going to hurt, but it's not going to help. So vote baiting, though, doing this engagement baiting is stuff that's getting punished by the algorithms. The same thing with the react. React with this, angry face if you don't like this, and positive whatever if you like this, I care, whatever. All of those are baiting things, and the algorithms know that. Same thing with sharing. And when you just tell people to comment below or share this or whatever, those phrases are viewed as baiting. And Facebook has made it very clear that they're not going to let that work. They're going to try to stop that. They want quality content that is naturally being shared and people naturally responding to it. Okay, and so you need to watch the phrases. What does that mean? Just for a few of you that I know, like Luke and others on here who have been doing this for quite a while, I'm changing the copy on my ads even to move away from this. I used to always spell out, click learn more, click this or that or whatever, but I'm starting to take that off even on the ads, because I'm afraid that the algorithms are going to punish that. All right. So, all right. And so, in fact, here's a great question here that just came in from Luke. If we're in a minority language, how does the algorithm know if we say comment below? If it's on Facebook, they're translating it. Okay, this is what's happening. So that's why the difference, one of the big differences between Facebook and Google is that you don't have to translate. So as we jump into Google, you're going to see in next week's show how when you do keyword searches, you have to type in the language you're searching for. With Facebook, it automatically does that. Now, Luke, if it's in a minority language, maybe they're not getting it well. It's possible, okay? If in doubt on those situations, I would encourage you to do some A/B tests and see if you, and don't do more than one, to see on the same picture, just change the copy and see if it affects on your insights the reach that's happening and see if it's being punished or not from that. That's one way that you could tell, all right? So please don't try to do this bait things. Try to think good quality content on your organic stuff and it will reach more. A couple more things real fast. You can also, in your insights on your page, Facebook page, see what your competitors are doing. In fact, last week's podcast, I think it was last week's or it's this week. I'm forgetting what day it's coming out. I've already recorded next week's, I believe. Hope so. Podcast that's coming out about how you can see what ads others are running. In fact, those who might be against Jesus, other religions or whatever else, you can see what kind of ads that they are running. Well, you can see what kind of post, organic stuff, that your competitors are doing, and it's going to give you some insights to that. So go under Insights, scroll to the bottom, and then you can begin to learn a little bit, learn from others, what they're doing there. A couple more real fast on this question. Try using live content if you can. If you can't show a face, you can still go live, but just put audio out there. I know there's been some teams that have done that, or show videos, but show them, launch them live, okay? And then finally, this is becoming just the de facto thing with organic or paid, use video. The more video you use, the better it is. It used to be photos, and then Facebook shifted towards video. They're trying to compete against YouTube and others, and so the algorithms reward that. All right, yes, keep going on the organic. Don't give up on it. Use it as a testing ground, but if you really want to reach out, you're gonna probably have to put some money behind your ads. All right, let's keep going. Finally, what do you think about putting people in groups on Facebook? Well, there's two different camps here. There's churches, and then there's these mission teams that might be watching this show. If you're a church, you're probably not worried about security considerations when it comes to that. If you're in a mission organization or a mission team, security may be a very big issue to you. It's something that I'm looking into a bunch. We have some solutions. I can't put them out, obviously on a podcast or any place else, but there's some things that we're doing that help protect people while actually protecting their privacy as well. But when it comes to groups, I am a fan of grouping people who are naturally already a part of these groups, of sharing the gospel with whole family groups, of bringing people into that. But there is something to, and this Facebook groups especially, that is becoming a bigger and bigger priority for Facebook. And so the challenge to that is the security aspect to that. This is where, for me, an underlying driving truth or practice that I do is to always listen to the locals on it. What is their posture towards this? Do they share? Are they putting out organically Bible verses or pictures or whatever else that they're doing? The moderating of these groups, of deciding who gets into them, of doing all of that, I would trust a local more than myself from living overseas. Right, to be able to decide on being able to do that. So to me, I think it's interesting, the idea. I think it's something that obviously Facebook is pushing, but I'm concerned about the security aspects of that. And so if you have some great solutions of how that's working for you overseas, make sure and send us a message. Jump on Kavanaugh Media, send us something on the Contact Us form. You can send an email, reach out to us here on Facebook. I'd love to hear what things that you are learning because, as I said at the beginning of the show, I in no way believe that I have all of the answers at all. Not any clue of that, okay? And that I'm sure there's some things that I'm holding on to that are going to show themselves to be wrong. Well, then I'm going to change. And I'm going to change my view. And we're going to pivot and keep iterating and keep changing with the times. I'm not going to bemoan that. I don't want to go back to whatever normal is because of the pandemic, because we're not going to. Things are continuing to change and it's speeding up in some ways. So let's keep figuring out how to do those things. And so if you have some ideas, please share them with me, as well as questions, any content ideas, whatever you have. I would love to hear them. All right, so let's jump into Google Ads in the remaining time that we have. Google Ads are, specifically in this next couple of weeks or so, we're going to look at, more than anything, the search ads. Because if a person types in your language, in your region, in the place where you can follow up with them, how do I get a Bible? Or what is Jesus true? Or is the Bible corrupt? Or whatever kind of phrases that are there, I would love for them to see your results. I would love for your ministry, your website, whatever it is that you're using to show up in the search engine result page. Same thing with the church here. If people type in local church or whatever, let's make sure that yours shows up. So whether it's people asking questions about how to or where or whatever those questions are, Google can work really, really well. There are so many people using Google. There are so many searches, and it's not the only one, as I'll say here in just a second, but it is the largest one that's out there. Now, you have China and some of those, and that's kind of its own unique beast. But outside of that, Google is pretty massive and what's happening and how much they know on it. With the privacy changes, with pixel changes, with all of that stuff happening, Google is doing what's called a federated learning of cohorts. They're changing how they're modeling. So there's a lot of stuff that's happening. Here's what I know. If you're on Google and they search on Google, there's a good chance, if you're doing this right, that Google Ads are still going to be a major, major tool for you to find those people that are seeking and to connect them to somebody else who needs to talk to them. And so here's about a 10-minute training just getting us started with Google Ads. Remember, if you have questions, make sure to put them in the comments. I'll try to address them then as we close the show up. Here we go. There are many search engine solutions on the web today. Some of the more famous ones are Microsoft Bing and Google Ads. Now, you may have heard of Google AdWords or AdWords Express, and these are the previous names for the new and improved Google Ads. Google Ads is by far the largest, and we believe it's the most advantageous for your ministry and outreach. You can reach who you want through targeting. You can get your message to the specific people
who are searching for what it is that you're offering to them. You have access to the whole Google search and ad network, and you can measure your ads to see which ones are truly working. So let's take a look at some of the benefits of Google Ads and why you should be using them in your media to movement or outreach strategy. Now, the first benefit is the ability to target your ads. Targeting means that you can show your ads to the people who have specific interest in and or searching for what you're sharing. Another benefit is the keyword planner. When you set up your ads account, you will need to switch from smart mode to expert mode in the settings to use this feature. The keyword planner helps you reach the right customers using the words and phrases that they are searching for. When people use a certain keyword that you have designated, then the ad will show up in their search results. And by only showing your ad to those who are searching for something related to your offering, for example, a free Bible, well, then your audience is much warmer and is better aligned to your message and what it is that you're offering to them. You can also target by specific geographic location, by mobile or by desktop, or by both. Other targeting options include demographics such as age and language, and you can even set the day, time, and frequency, meaning you can show your ads only during certain hours of the day or certain days of the week. All of this is part of figuring out your targeting. You also have the ability to control your budget. There's no minimum to get started, and you can choose how much to spend per month, per day, or even per ad. The great thing is that for the most part, you're only going to pay when someone clicks on your ad. Click on the Start Now to get started at ads.google.com, and you'll need to use your Google account to access this. The Google network is made up of all the places your ads can be displayed. It has thousands of search and display network websites, as well as the Google search engine itself. About 80% of all internet users in the world are a part of the Google network reach. This includes 100 countries and over 30 different languages. Within the Google network, there are two big areas: the Google Search Network and the Google Display Network. Now, the search network includes the familiar text ads and just the regular search results. Advertising in this area can help you gain an advantage over organic listings and search results, and it helps you reach people who are actively searching for what you are offering. You can add this text ads to the display on Google Maps, Google Shopping, and even to websites that are search partners, which includes hundreds of non-Google websites. On these non-Google sites, keywords or phrases that people search on their sites are included in the keyword targeting. Google search text ads are very easy to set up, and you can have a high confidence that your keywords are being matched right up to the searcher's intent and interest. There's also the display ads. Now, the display network is typically used in conjunction with attention-grabbing visuals instead of targeting based on keywords that a user supplies. Instead of matching these keywords, you can look for websites with content related to your target. So, for example, websites that have something related to Christianity might be a good fit for your display network banner ads within your media to movement strategy. Display ads help you reach a wide range of people and can help build awareness and engagement with your website and your brand. Now remember, by default, Google uses both networks when you create a new campaign. You can choose, though, which network, search, or display that you want to use when setting up your campaign. Once you've created your Google Ads account, you will be brought to this screen right here. This is your overview area. Now, if your screen looks different, you may be in smart mode. Simply select Switch to Expert mode from the settings to get access to the advanced options. You can see your account ID information, any campaigns you've created, and other useful information and tools by clicking up in the top right area. Now, you can also click Campaigns to see the campaigns that you have been running and select individual campaigns, see more details and information about these campaigns. You can also adjust settings, locations, or just see your change history through this whole process. Also, towards the top of the page, you can click on the Tools and Settings to get to your Keyword Planner. This tool will help you to find keywords and get search results and search volume and forecast for different types of keywords that you might want to use in your targeting. We're going to look at this more specifically in another video. As you get started, you'll want to create a campaign. So just click on the new campaign icon and it will help you decide what you want to accomplish in your campaign. Since we started to choose and create a new campaign, we have to choose the objective that we want for this campaign. Now, this is very similar if you are doing a Facebook targeting as well. For this example, though, we're going to be not going as deep as we can, and we can't hit all the specifics, so we're just going to look at one, website traffic. When you click on that, then you can decide what type of campaign. Do you want to be in search, in display, in the shopping area, or video? We're going to say search for this one. Then you need to put the name of your business that you want to drive the traffic to. What is the website name for your ministry? For this, we'll put Kavanaugh Media in there, and then just click continue. You'll have to make sure that you've named the campaign. So we'll call it just test campaign for this one. As you can see, both the search network and the display network are chosen initially. We're going to take the display network off and just do the search network, which are the text ads. Then we set our location. We pick what language we want, and then we pick our audience. And we can put our budget in here as well. So let's say on a daily average, we want to do just $10 in our ad spend. And then what we're looking at then here is conversions. Are you looking for a certain value, or are you just looking for clicks? We're going to leave it on conversions. You can even set at a target cost saying, I don't want to spend more than a certain amount per action, if that's what you're looking for. There are additional settings that you can add, and I would encourage you to click on buttons and see what they do. And when you've chosen all that you want to, hit save and then continue. Next, you will have to create your ad groups. These are like a folder where you will have more than one ad that are related and are similar. Now you may have more than one, you could have 2 or 3 or more ads within an ad group. So you'll name your ad group and you will post your keywords, which we will look at in a different video. Next, you'll have to create the ad itself. We will look at this in more detail at another point, but on this, you will pick your headline, and your headline 1 goes right here. Then your headline 2 is going to go right here, and you can add the address of where you want them to go. All of this is part of creating the ad. You would look at the ad and make sure everything is good, and then when you're all done, you will hit save and continue. Now I know that this is fast, and we haven't looked at every detail, but this will get you started.
So I hope it does. I hope it gets you started. I hope that you'll begin to look into it to set up your account. We're going to do much as we did on Facebook. We're going to do a broad overview, and then we're going to start taking bits and pieces, and we're going to be looking at those in more detail in these training segments that we do. So we're going to go through the whole process here on Google Ads. Next week, we're going to be looking at keywords. We're going to look at that kind of process of doing it and setting up the whole ad. We can look at other aspects too. So if you have some parts or you have some questions you want to make sure I cover, please reach out, let me know as well. Just on this training, I just want to make sure that you understand too that we're going to be looking at other stuff. We're going to look at Google Analytics after the Google ads are done. We're going to be looking at that. We're also going to be looking at going back through and looking into details of your Facebook ads and really how to dial those in, YouTube ads, you name it. That's what we're hoping to be able to do, is to help you. That's my desire. Okay, more than anything else, I want to help you, your church or mission team, leverage technology to be able to find those that are seeking to make Jesus famous. That's what I want. And I know that you do too. So do me a favor. Will you subscribe to this show? You can do it on YouTube. Will you like our Kavanaugh page? Will you check out our podcast? That is where I really get down into the nitty gritty. That's where this tribe of people that are doing this, that's kind of where I'm hoping that we will come together and talk and share there. So listen to that. Give me 5 stars on there, even if you think I only deserve 4. Will you do that? Okay. But more than anything else, reach out and let us know how to help, and be listening to the podcast and to the show. For in about a week or 2, I'm going to have a really amazing announcement of a partnership and some really cool things that are happening that I want to share with you all. So I'm going to go spend the rest of this day with my family and have a little bit of a holiday here. I'm excited and thankful to be able to spend this time with you. Thanks for being a part of it. Thank you to Pioneers for letting us use this facility and your internet here, and for GMPI for sponsoring this show and helping me be able to put this on. I appreciate all of you very much. Until next time, keep testing, keep pushing forward. Thank you so much for what you do to make Jesus famous. Take care, and God bless. Bye for now.